Walter Jennings lived in a quaint wooden house at the end of Maple Street, where once laughter and winter lights filled the air. He had lived there for over 50 years, with his beloved wife, Margaret, who had passed away 6 years ago. Since then, Walter lived alone. At 78, he still took care of himself, drove his old Chevrolet, shopped every Tuesday, and attended church every Sunday. But everyone knew the light in Walter's home had dimmed since Margaret left. Walter used to be the town's electrician. The whole town relied on him to fix broken wires and flickering street lamps. Back then, he lit up every corner. People fondly called him the last lamplighter, not just because he fixed lights, but because he always stayed behind to make sure everything was okay. But now, no one called him that anymore. One crisp autumn afternoon, while Walter sat on his porch, a boy appeared at his gate. He had messy red hair and a backpack almost bigger than himself. "Are you Mr. Jennings?" the boy asked. "Yes, that's me," Walter replied. "And who are you?" "I'm Daniel. My mom and I just moved here. Ms. Brown said you used to fix electricity. Our kitchen light won't turn on. Can you help us?" Walter hesitated. It had been years since he touched a toolbox. His hands weren't steady, but something in the boy's eyes, so full of trust, made him pause. "All right," he said. "Lead the way." At Daniel's house, Walter fixed the old outlet in just 15 minutes. For the first time in weeks, the kitchen light flickered to life. Daniel clapped. "You really are a lamplighter." Walter smiled, a smile he hadn't felt on his face in a long time. After that day, Daniel began visiting often, first to fix broken toys or a squeaky bike bell, but soon, just to listen. Walter would share stories of the town in the 60s, of the blizzard that took out the power at the school, and how he met Margaret because of a blown fuse in the library. Daniel's visits brought life back into Walter's quiet home. One afternoon, Daniel handed him a folded paper. "I wrote a school essay about someone who inspires me," he said. "I called it The Last Lamplighter." Walter unfolded the page with trembling fingers and read, "You don't just fix electricity. You fix things I thought were gone, like hope and trust." That night, Walter sat by the window, staring at the old street lamp he'd repaired decades ago. Maybe he still had something to offer. Maybe his story wasn't over. The following week, Walter visited the mayor's office, a place he hadn't been in years. He proposed starting a group, retired tradespeople helping neighbors with small repairs. "We're not young," he said, "but we can still do small things, things that matter." Soon, the Town Bright group was born. Walter and a team of seniors, carpenters, electricians, mechanics, went door to door helping with what they could. They replaced light bulbs, fixed fences, tested old heaters. But it wasn't just about repairs, it was about connection. After each visit, they left behind a small note. "The light is on. Hope remains." Word spread. People smiled more. Neighbors waved. Kids watched and helped. And then came something unexpected. A woman hugged one of the volunteers after he repaired her porch light. "You didn't just fix my home," she said. "You reminded me someone still cares." A boy brought cookies to the group after they fixed his grandmother's radio. One neighbor painted a sign and hung it in front of her house. "Thank you, Town Bright Group." A year later, the whole town had changed. Not just brighter, but warmer. The lights no longer flickered. and neither did the spirits of its people. On Walter's 80th birthday, the town held a celebration at the high school. Daniel, now a teenager, stood on stage. He read from the same essay he had once given Walter. "Walter Jennings didn't just light up our homes," he said. "He lit up our hearts." The whole auditorium rose in applause. That night, Walter stood in front of his mirror. He saw an old man, but one whose light hadn't gone out. He whispered, as if speaking to Margaret, "You see, my love, I never stopped lighting the lamps." And outside, through his window, the town glowed quietly under a sky of stars. Because some lights, no matter how small, burn forever in the hearts of others.